welcome. This is going to be an interesting topic. Welcome to Alpha Mindset. And of course, who do I have with me? The wonderful Bridget Gibson. I'm so glad to see you and hear from you today. How are you, Bridget? How are you
Hey,
doing?
Doc. I'm gonna call you Doc.
Okay, that's what's up. I can roll with that. That's what they call me. I can
I'm
deal
gonna
with
call
that.
you Doc. I like Doc.
Absolutely. Okay,
Hi,
I
how
can
are
take
you
that.
tonight?
I'm actually doing really well. Life is good. You roll with the punches.
That's
That's how
right.
it goes. Mm-hmm.
That's right, man. You know what? This is really our first podcast together.
Yeah, you rock.
I'm so glad to be here tonight. And oh my goodness, we have a great night for you guys. It's gonna be a little interesting. What do you think about that, Doc?
Well, it's a dynamic. It's a social dynamic. And this is a part of how we socialize. And of
Okay.
course, it every now and then it surfaces and people talk about it. And we're talking about the hall pass. When it
Ooh,
comes to relationships, your significant other says, you know what, I'm going to give you a hall pass. Now, sometimes it's for one occurrence, sometimes it's temporary. So, a lot of people say, well, what is a
you see
hall
how I'm
pass?
looking at him, right?
Yeah. It's like it's an agreement between two partners. Okay. And it's in a romantic relationship. I'm gonna give you a
Okay.
hall pass. Maybe you could slip out, find you somebody else. Maybe it'll spice up the relationship, get things going, keep us, excitable. Now, some people they agree with that. They say, hey, man, this really works for us. Some people will testify that it does. Now, other people are going to say, absolutely not. Ain't no way I'm sharing my people with nobody. Some people will say that. And so we kind of wanted to unpack the dynamics, the social dynamics of hall passes.
Yes.
Do
So,
you think? I
guys,
mean, are you open to hall passes?
no, I'm gonna just say it
Didn't take
straight
you
out.
no
No,
time. You said that quick.
I'm not. I don't like to share. I've
Okay.
never liked to share anything.
Okay. Okay. I thought, you might have been in the giving spirit, to help out your
No,
fellow person.
that's
Okay.
not me. That's not me. So, guys, let me tell you. Let me give you a little background on how we came up with this subject. So, there was an Instagram post, and we're gonna play the clip for you guys in a few moments. But there was an Instagram post where this young woman um, actually cheated on her husband. And so, in order to make amends, she decided to give him a hall pass. And so that's where we are right now. So, we're going to do the clip for you guys.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, my goodness.
So after I cheated on my husband, I gave him a hall pass. But here's the reason why I did that is because I didn't want to take the responsibility of getting rid of all demons that I opened up my marriage to. And usually this is what people do when they cheat. They want their spouse to cheat on them back. So it would give them a reason to feel better in some way. But let me tell you, that's the wrong way to do it. It's the wrong way to go about it because at the end of the day, you make matters worse.
And even though I knew that that option was put forth in front of me, I knew that wasn't the right choice.
Yeah.
That's not the way that we try to rebuild a marriage. If you want to stay in a marriage that's still on a downfall and just ride it out downhill, that's up to you if you want to make that choice. But I was not about to make that same choice if I know I also have another option of getting back in the face of God, praying for my marriage, praying for my wife, and trying to do the things and correct the wrongs that we had that led us into that position.
Woo! Okay, so what did you think about the clip? What did you think?
Well, I thought it was straightforward. I thought, the lady was very expressive, and apparently, they're for that type of, they're for it. I know it's going to create a lot of conversation around it. It's very controversial. I think it's just another way of saying that, you're polyamorous or you live a life of polygyny or polygamy. You deal with multiple partners. Some people call it an open relationship. I think that, that is just an occurrence in life. And some of us have our own personal beliefs around it. Some of us are for it, but then in the same light, some of us are like, I wouldn't dare do that. But think about this dynamic. A lot of people believe it or not, and it's not a popular notion, but a lot of people are very happy and productive with this type of arrangement. You know, a lot of people are.
Well, I'm very traditional and really believe that it's a one man, one woman situation. And so I wouldn't be happy in that type of relationship, but to each its own.
Yeah. I mean, literally, that's what I'm saying. I mean, even in these types of relationships, there are a lot of reasons why. There are circumstances that can lead to this happening. You know, you got to think about, it could be a temporary separation. It could be distance. A lot of people have long distance relationships, and they both give themselves the leeway to act that way responsibly according to their rules of engagement. Some people, it could be sexual inequality. A person may not be sexually compatible with their partner, but they do love other aspects of each other. So those kind of things, those kind of dynamics can kind of lead to someone that would adopt that type of lifestyle.
And that's understandable, to each its own. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of different things that can happen in those type of relationships. You know, wouldn't you fear that maybe your partner may find that other person more interesting?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think that's where, in that type of relationship, it's going to take a lot of bonding, a lot of pair bonding. It's a psychological term. You know, a lot of, I would say for the sake of the conversation, a spiritual bond between each other that kind of goes beyond the whole love thing, but a duty and commitment to the relationship. There's a difference between, I'm in love with you, but then I'm committed and obedient to you. And that obedience goes on both ends, and a lot of people are uncomfortable when that term comes about.
Well, I don't know. I'm very I'm very selfish, guys. I just can't see it, because to me, that person belongs to me.
Well, in a
okay,
relationship,
Doc, you put me on the on the front line. So
okay,
what about you?
Well, me personally, I don't advocate for hall passes. I think it leads to a lot of anxiety. It leads to a lot of insecurity. It creates a lot of imbalance. It can create a lot of distance, because you're spending your emotional tank and you're just exhausted emotionally to be able to have to spread yourself among multiple people. That's just a lot of energy dispersed. And then flat out even creating the physical time to give each person quality time. It's just, to me, it's just not reasonable and rational. No, I don't ascribe to it.
To me, it's very, oh my gosh, it's negative. It's a negative impact on a relationship.
Well, I think with relationships, we tend to forget that we are the masters and the designers of our relationships. We're the architects. If the potential partners sit down to set the rules of engagement and they touch and agree, and they're building their relationship based on their equal terms, then who are we sitting on outside of it to judge it? I mean, everyone sets their rules. Now, a lot of times what happens is the development of antisocial behavior. That kicks in because it's very hard to be genuine in a relationship, because you're worried about, what if I say something that's real direct and I may hurt my partner's feelings? But it's for the greater good. If you do it tactfully and respectfully, you can be honest and show up authentic all the time. And I think, especially during the dating phase, before you actually get into courtship and you're really committed to each other, that's the time to really share your philosophy around what you want out of a relationship, and also put your expectations in place.
I agree with you. And I guess in a way it's better than you cheating on the person and they not knowing that you're doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, when we look at it from an obtuse way, a lot of people are poly and don't even know it.
Some of us traditional believing people.
Yeah, even those that we just swear up and down we're traditional, but we either will physically cheat or emotionally cheat.
Yeah.
And we don't hold ourselves accountable for that. So, a lot of us kind of have one track minds around that concept. I mean, giving someone a hall pass, maybe it won't include sex. It doesn't actually have to include that, because you can emotionally cheat. You can do that, and it can have literally the same effects. So there are a lot of ways to look at this, and a lot of us are socialized on how we relate to one another in an intimate way. And it's hard for us to kind of think outside of the box when it comes to that. And that's why the developmental stage of a relationship that is expected to be long lasting really takes time. And this culture is the hookup culture. And that's the kind of feeling that a hall pass would give you. Oh, you just want to hook up. You just want to be greedy. You just want to have your cake and eat.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way I feel about it.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
asking for too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So, okay. So what can happen in these type of relationships where you're given this hall pass? You know, could anything like maybe sexually transmitted diseases, can that happen?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people think that, condoms and other kind of prophylactics, they're going to solve that threat. But no, that's not true. There are ways to create a lot of problems, even infections, STIs. It's not just about the STDs, but the STIs. And you got to think about it like this. If I'm having sex, quote unquote, with an outside partner, I have to hope that outside partner is honest with me. And how do you know? And then on top of that, the person you're sleeping with, hoping that they're honest, you're hoping that the person that person is sleeping with is honest.
It's too much.
You got a chain of people that you got to hope are accountable in an era where STDs are rampant.
Exactly.
So you're taking a huge gamble here.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Absolutely.
But that can happen in any type of relationship, right? If a person step outside of the relationship.
Absolutely. Usually, the premise of being in a poly relationship is being transparent and honest. But it's interesting how people in poly relationships, those that are giving out hall passes and all that kind of stuff, right? They're not honest either. Like people in poly relationships, they cheat as well. Like it'll be a set agreement of those group of people, and they'll still step out of those group of people.
Wow.
And so the dynamic is really a variable.
Okay, so when we watch the video, the young woman, she actually steps outside of her marriage.
Yes.
And so when she told her husband that he could have a hall pass because she did this, he was like, no, I'm not going to accept the pass because we need to work on what caused you to go outside of the marriage.
Right.
So do you think she was being even more deceitful to even offer him that pass?
Well, I wouldn't say deceitful, Bridget. I would say that she's being more dismissive. Instead of addressing and owning up to what she did wrong, she deflected from her accountability for her actions and then invited him to join in the foolishness to offset what she did and not being held accountable. And he stood firm on his integrity and commitment to her and says, no, I won't engage in that because that wasn't our premise. Our premise was to be faithful and have fidelity between us, both of us. So just because you didn't honor your word, you're not going to enable me to do the same. So no, I think it was more of a sense of trying to violate the trust and use it as a means of leverage.
I think so too. And I really believe that she still was being even more selfish because she didn't really care the fact that maybe, he could have gotten really hurt out there doing something he really didn't want to do. What if she didn't know how he would have accepted the fact that she did this to him?
Right. Right. Right.
So she
And
didn't think
again,
about his mental state nor his physical state.
yeah, totally. I mean, totally self-consumed. Absolutely. You
So
know,
there's a bigger issue there.
oh yeah, that speaks to the issue of isolation and lack of communication. When you're married, or even, before marriage, you're in a relationship where you both are committed to one
Mhm.
another. You have to have the understanding that your actions carry a reaction, and that
Mhm.
reaction can affect everyone and not just you.
Wow. This was a great conversation. Oh my goodness. So what else do you think about this hall pass thing? Do you think it's something that more people need to maybe consider?
No, I mean, me, because I'm against it. I'm against the variables that come with it. There's a
Hmm.
lot of things that can go unnoticed. There are a lot of blind spots in taking on this thing called a hall pass.
Hmm.
And I think those that are going to do it, I think it really requires some integrity and introspection. And once you start the hall pass, you got to bring everybody involved.
But integrity, is that even a word in that situation?
I would think so. I think integrity can exist during a hall pass because everyone has to be included. That means that you're going to be transparent. You both agree to the hall pass. Now, these two people, it's not somebody like doing it behind your back, or
Hmm.
no, you're giving each other this quote unquote hall pass. Well, the people you are sleeping with on the outside, I need to meet them. We need to scrutinize these people, so forth and so on. It's going to be a community effort. It's not going to be as isolated, and I don't think people can withstand that. But
I don't think so either.
you can logistically do it, but can it reasonably be done? I don't know. I think
I
that's kind
don't know. Because it seemed like to me mentally, you
of.
would
Mhm.
be just always thinking, did he go back? Did he go back to her? Is he speaking with her now? You know what I'm saying? I
Well,
would,
well, yeah, but think
because
about it
the
again.
trust to me,
Yeah, but thinking about this, Bridget, it's the anxiety of not communicating well and having trust. If we both agree to a hall pass, then we both agree. If I say, yeah, that would be fine. That means that I agree that you're giving me one, and I'm
hmm,
giving you one. So it's the husband that has an hall pass, and it's the wife that has an hall pass. So you won't have to worry about that because both are engaging. And so there are other steps to ensure the integrity of the agreement. That means other things are going to have to be discussed and tabled, because there are a lot of blind spots with just generally agreeing to a hall pass, because now you have to deal with those variables, the
hmm,
trust and integrity of the people you're sleeping with. Now because you're bringing that into our home. So that would literally have to mean you would have to bring everybody you're sleeping with into our house, and everybody would have to know everybody. And I just don't think that's reasonable.
I don't think that would work either.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think
So
it
I'm
would
not going to
work.
like it. That ain't
It
happening.
definitely wouldn't work for me.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch either. So look like Doc, we agreed on the first episode.
That's great. I think that's like removing mountains.
He said, she said, we agree.
Absolutely. That's how it should
Yay.
be, right? Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. Wow, this was wonderful. I enjoyed this.
Absolutely, man. And everybody, keep logging on, man. Keep enjoying the great conversations. We definitely love the feedback. If you can give us feedback,
Yes.
even bring us some topics that you want us to discuss, we'll gladly do that. Myself and of course the eloquent Miss Bridget, we'll do that. We'll definitely table things that you bring to us.
You know what, guys? So Dr. Albert has a boot camp coming up. Can we talk
Yes.
about the boot camp?
Absolutely. Yeah. The boot. Now, I am doing a mental health series, and this happens to be a boot camp around narcissism and dealing with a narcissist. And it's a very debilitating thing to deal with a narcissist and then have to live after the effects of dealing with a narcissist.
Okay.
So the boot camp is kind of designed to give you a hands-on skill set to be able to mitigate the effects, and to also deal with an existing partner, knowing how
Okay.
to actually talk to your partner and gain some type of resolution. So I think it's dynamic, and I
Ooh, it
think a lot
sounds
of
really
people
good.
will benefit from it because narcissism is widespread.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
Hmm.
And social media, on every platform, someone is talking about narcissism and
Absolutely.
not understanding how to navigate in a relationship with a person who's narcissistic. So I think it's going
Absolutely.
to be wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I can't wait. I'm excited about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone, you can go
So,
to Eventbrite and look for mental awareness boot camp, and
hmm
you'll find it. It'll pop up, and get your tickets. I think you'll really enjoy it.
yes.
October 6th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time.
So that's this week, guys. So we don't have
Yeah,
much time.
absolutely.
Yeah, so go ahead and do that. Do that quickly. So, wow,
Absolutely.
this has been wonderful. And so we're going to do this once a week, guys. We're going to do this once a week. I'm excited. We have some great topics coming up.
Absolutely.
Great,
Yeah, I
great
think they're going to be
topics.
some interesting topics.
And yeah, Dr. Albert Higgins, it's wonderful. And guys, you can check him out at www.dralberthiggins.com.
Absolutely, man. Check me out. Of course, I offer therapy and also offer financial consultation.
Hmm
And they actually kind of mirror each other. Financial awareness is definitely a mental or psychological thing.
hmm
And our psychological health, our mental health is really, really important. And so I take a no nonsense approach to therapy and a comfortable approach to therapy so you can truly benefit from therapy and develop the tools to help you deal with everyday challenges.
Yes, even those hall passes. He even talked about
Right,
relationships.
right. When you get ready to cut somebody out, I'll show you how to do it, with dignity without having to
Yeah.
kill somebody.
So he does relationship counseling. Do you do couples counseling?
Yeah, absolutely. Couples counseling, premarital, co-parenting, grief counseling, crisis counseling. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this has been a wonderful, wonderful night, and we're going to continue these conversations because it's important. It's important to the
Yeah,
families,
yeah,
for us to have healthier families. And that can
definitely.
be in any kind of relationship, long as you're understanding each other. How about that?
That's so true. That is so true, Bridget. I couldn't have said it any better.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to see you guys on next week. Don't forget about the boot camp. So join tonight.
Absolutely.
As soon as you get this, join, and we'll see you at the boot camp. How about that? Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.